Is there one secret to becoming happier, healthier, and more successful in life? What if mastering one skill could help you achieve all your goals, from learning English better to building your dream career? Welcome to English Journey, where we help you grow personally while mastering English. I'm Celine, and every day we bring you new videos to help you on your English learning journey. Before we start, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It helps us create more great content for you. At the end of this video, I'll share the key takeaways and a short quiz to test your understanding, so make sure to watch until the end. The Willpower Instinct, your guide to self-control. Today, we're diving into Kelly McGonigal's amazing book, The Willpower Instinct: How Self-Control Works, Why It Matters, and What You Can Do to Get More of It. This book is like a user manual for your brain, teaching you how to use your self-control to reach your goals. People with strong willpower are generally happier, healthier, have better relationships, are more successful, earn more money, and even live longer. If you want to improve your life, willpower is a great place to begin. In fact, willpower is a better predictor of how well you do in school or how successful you are at work than intelligence. Understanding willpower. 3 powers. Willpower is your ability to control yourself. It helps you resist temptations and do things that are good for you in the long term. Think of it as having 3 different powers. I won't power. This is your ability to say no, even when your whole body wants to say yes. This power covers the common idea of willpower, the ability to resist temptation. For example, saying no to a chocolate chip cookie when you are on a diet, or no to a cigarette when you are trying to quit smoking. This power helps you avoid temptations. To find your I won't challenge, ask yourself, which habit that is hurting your health, happiness, or career would you most like to give up? I will power. This is your ability to do what you dislike now for a better future. This power helps you accomplish tasks that are both unpleasant and necessary to achieve your goals, like studying to pass exams and get a degree. To find your I will challenge, ask yourself, which habit should you stop putting off in order to improve your life? I want power. This is your capacity to remember what you truly want. What you truly want is what is best for you in the long term, despite present temptations. To resist the present, you need a clear, long-term goal that guides your actions. For example, if you want to learn English fluently, your I want power reminds you of that goal when you are tempted to watch TV instead of studying. It's this goal that fuels your I want power by reminding you what's at stake. To find your I want challenge, ask yourself, what is the #1 long-term goal you would like to focus more energy on? Which immediate desires are keeping you away from it? Willpower as a limited resource, like a muscle. Imagine your willpower as a muscle. When you use your muscles a lot, they get tired. Willpower works the Setbacks way. It can get exhausted. Every successful attempt to exert self-control draws from the same limited source. This means that resisting one temptation will not only weaken your ability to avoid other temptations, but also prompt procrastination and other willpower failures. Many daily activities like commuting, sitting through a boring meeting, or even choosing between many products use up your willpower reserves. This is sometimes called ego depletion. However, just like a muscle, you can train your willpower to make it stronger. People who use their willpower seem to run out of it. This is often seen on college campuses during final exams, where students might smoke more, have more emotional outbursts, or even stop flossing because their willpower is depleted from intense studying. How to boost your willpower. Powerful strategies for self-control. Here are some powerful ways to increase your self-control and avoid willpower exhaustion. 1. Get enough sleep. Sleep is very important for your willpower. When you don't get enough sleep, less than 6 hours a night, your brain's prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for decision-making and self-control, becomes less active and sluggish. This makes it harder to control your impulses and remember your long-term goals. Getting 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night helps to fully recharge your willpower. Sleep deprivation also makes you more susceptible to stress, cravings, and giving in to temptation. It's almost like being drunk, where you don't make the wisest decisions. When sleep is compromised, it can negatively impact willpower and make it more challenging to resist temptations, make sound decisions, and stay focused on long-term objectives. 2. Meditate and practice slow breathing. Meditation can significantly improve your willpower. Neuroscientists have found that people who meditate have more gray matter, which means higher levels of performance in the regions of the brain responsible for self-awareness. This means that after just a couple of months of meditating for about 10 minutes a day, their brains can actually look different. Meditation cultivates a moment-to-moment self-awareness, which helps us realize when we are being distracted and refocus our energy back on the task at hand. In fact, scientists have shown that it only takes 3 hours of regular meditation to improve self-control and develop a higher attention span. And after 11 hours of practice, the changes are already observable in the brain. Even just a few minutes of slow breathing can make a difference. Slowing your breath to 4 to 6 breaths per minute helps your brain shift from a stressed state to a calm, self-controlled state. This is because slow breathing increases your heart rate variability, a key factor in self-control. This makes you feel more in control and capable of handling challenges. For example, if you are on a diet, it's a good idea to practice slow breathing before looking at a slice of cake. 3. Exercise regularly. Physical exercise is like a wonder drug for self-control. Studies show that regular exercise, even just 1 time per week for the first month, can improve self-control in all areas of your life. It makes your brain's self-control systems bigger and better connected. People who were not exercising regularly, but then started, showed improvements in attention and ability to ignore distractions. They also reduced their smoking, drinking, and caffeine intake, despite the fact that nobody had asked them to. They were eating less junk food, more healthy food, spent less time watching TV, more time studying, and saved money by making fewer impulsive purchases. Exercise also increases heart rate variability, which is linked to better self-control. If you tell yourself that you are too tired to exercise, start thinking of exercise as something that restores your energy and willpower, not drains it. 4. Eat a healthy diet. What you eat greatly affects your brain's ability to use energy, which impacts your willpower. There is something about having big spikes in blood sugar levels and then big drops in blood sugar levels that really affects how the brain uses energy. Eating low glycemic foods such as nuts, cereals, fruits, vegetables, and high-fiber grains helps maintain stable blood sugar levels, which is important for your willpower. This is because your brain needs blood glucose as fuel, especially the prefrontal cortex, to do its job efficiently. Research shows that shifting to a more plant-based diet can actually change the way the brain functions and has a lot to do with what's going on with your blood sugar levels. 5. Practice self-compassion after setbacks. It's common to feel guilty or ashamed after a willpower failure, like eating unhealthy food when you're on a diet. However, this feeling of guilt can actually make you more likely to repeat the same mistake. When you feel stressed, guilty, or ashamed, that is a state that puts you into the version of yourself, the mindset that is much more susceptible to immediate gratification, temptation, and anxiety. This state is the biological opposite of what your brain and body need to remember your long-term goals and be that better version of yourself. Studies show that the harder you are on yourself when you have a willpower failure, the more likely you are to have the same failure again, and the bigger it's going to be when you do. For example, problem drinkers who felt the most self-critical and ashamed about drinking the night before wanted to drink more immediately when they woke up and also drank more that night and the next. The same has been shown for addiction, including quitting smoking, gambling, and even for procrastination. Instead of being hard on yourself, practice self-compassion. Forgive yourself and remember that everyone makes mistakes. Talk to yourself as you would to a good friend, with encouragement rather than criticism. This approach is more effective for long-term change. This means noticing your feelings, understanding that it's a common human experience to make mistakes, and then encouraging yourself. Research suggests that learning how to talk to yourself in this way is more effective, for example, at quitting smoking than nicotine replacement therapy. 6. Connect with your future self. Many people feel like their future self is a stranger. When they think about their future selves, they often don't have access to those future emotions or understand that future happiness will be as real and important. However, the more you feel connected to your future self, the less likely you are to do things that hurt that future self's health and happiness. People who feel more similar to their future selves tend to have more assets, are more likely to own their home, have more money in the bank, and more retirement savings. They are also less likely to procrastinate and are more likely to make ethical decisions at work. They are also more likely to do things that don't have an immediate payoff, like flossing and exercising, but that protect their future self. To feel more connected, try visualizing your future self or writing a letter from your future self to your present self. Imagine what your future self will be doing, feeling, and what's important to them. Making the future feel real can give you more willpower in the present. Research at Stanford University showed that college students who interacted with a 3D avatar of their future self allotted more than twice as much money into a retirement account compared to college students who had not met their future self. 7. Predict your failures. While it might seem counterintuitive, imagining how you might fail can be more helpful than only imagining success. People who are most optimistic about their ability to make a difficult change often give up sooner and are most likely to fail because they are shocked by their setbacks. Instead, think about how your goal might not happen. When, where, and why. Is there anything you can do in advance to prevent that failure? And when failure happens, what are you going to do about it? This helps you prepare for challenges and makes you more likely to stick to your goals. One study with women wanting to exercise showed that those who predicted their failures doubled their exercise time immediately and maintained that higher level for months. Knowing that you'll be just as tempted, busy, or stressed tomorrow can be an important source of willpower today. There is a finding that tracking your success can lead people to slack off in the long run because it creates a feeling of satisfaction, which can be mistaken as motivation to do more, but often leads to doing something inconsistent with the goal. 8. Surf the urge. When you have a strong craving or urge, trying to push it away often makes it stronger. Instead, try surfing the urge. This means allowing yourself to notice the craving and the physical sensations it brings without trying to get rid of it. Observe your breath and imagine the urge as a cloud or a wave that will eventually pass. This technique helps you tolerate discomfort and trust that the craving will go away without you acting on it. This approach has been shown to help with various willpower challenges, including quitting smoking, managing food cravings, anxiety, and even intrusive thoughts. For example, in one study, smokers who were taught how to surf the urge in a torture test, where they were unable to light a cigarette for over an hour despite strong cravings, ended up reducing their cigarette smoke by 40% in the very next week, even though researchers had not asked them to. 9. Understand the role of dopamine. Dopamine is a brain chemical that plays a central role in our brain's reward and motivation systems. It helps us feel pleasure, stay motivated, and maintain focus on tasks that promise rewards or positive outcomes. However, dopamine's influence on willpower can be a double-edged sword. While it boosts motivation and focus when we anticipate rewards, it can also lead to impulsivity and make us more susceptible to temptation. When we experience a surge of dopamine in response to cues associated with immediate rewards, like junk food or social media, it can override our self-control and lead to impulsive behaviors that undermine long-term goals. This is why we engage in activities that seem irresistible at first glance, but later leave us feeling guilty and dissatisfied. To use dopamine wisely, set clear and specific goals. Visualizing the desired outcomes and breaking down the steps needed to achieve them can increase dopamine release and enhance focus and motivation. Practice delaying gratification by resisting immediate temptations and focusing on long-term rewards. Identify and manage environmental cues and triggers that lead to impulsive behaviors. For example, removing junk food from your home or turning off social media notifications can reduce exposure to temptations. Replace unhealthy rewards or indulgences with healthier alternatives that still provide a sense of satisfaction and pleasure. Cultivating mindfulness and self-awareness can also help you recognize when dopamine-driven impulses arise and respond more intentionally. 10. Use pre-commitment strategies. Pre-commitment strategies are an important concept in self-control and willpower. These strategies involve making a binding decision or commitment in advance to follow a specific course of action. This effectively removes the need for willpower in the moment of temptation. By reducing reliance on self-control when faced with immediate desires or distractions, pre-commitment strategies help you maintain focus on long-term goals and resist impulsive behaviors. Some effective pre-commitment strategies include eliminating temptation. Remove potential temptations from your environment. For example, if you want to eat healthy, do not buy junk food. Creating barriers. Add obstacles between you and the object of temptation to make it more difficult to give in to impulse. For instance, put your phone or other devices in a separate room when it's time to focus on other tasks. Scheduling. Create a schedule that outlines when you will work on specific tasks or engage in particular activities. This can reduce the need for willpower by establishing a routine, which helps prevent procrastination and distractions. Accountability. Enlisting the help of friends, family members, or even an accountability partner can increase your commitment to your goals. Sharing your objectives and progress with others creates a sense of responsibility. Financial incentives. Creating financial incentives or penalties can be a powerful pre-commitment strategy. For example, you might commit to saving a certain amount of money each month or face a penalty if you fail to meet your goal. Setting deadlines. Establishing clear deadlines for your goals can create a sense of urgency, reducing the likelihood of procrastination and promoting focused action. 11. Leverage social influences. Your social environment has a big impact on your willpower. Studies show that if we observe other people acting impulsively, we are more likely to be impulsive ourselves and neglect our long-term goals for a pleasurable moment. What's more, the more we like the person observed, the stronger this effect is, and the more willpower we lose. But the good news is that willpower can be contagious in a positive way too. If you know someone you admire for their self-control, research shows that just thinking about someone with good self-control increases your own willpower. Even better, make your willpower challenges a group project by getting friends or family involved. The power of this approach was shown in a weight loss intervention at the University of Pittsburgh, where participants enrolled with a friend or family member and were instructed to support each other in pursuing their goals. After 10 months, 66% of participants maintained their weight loss, compared to only 24% in a control group that did not join with a partner. So if you and your loved ones share a willpower challenge, make it a group project. Key takeaways. Here are the main lessons from the Willpower Instinct. Willpower consists of 3 essential parts: I won't, I will, and I want. Willpower is a finite resource, similar to a muscle that can be trained and can also become tired. Getting adequate sleep, practicing meditation, engaging in regular exercise, and maintaining a healthy diet are crucial for boosting your willpower. Practice self-compassion and forgive yourself after setbacks, as self-criticism can undermine future self-control. Cultivate a stronger connection with your future self to make decisions that align with your long-term well-being. Predicting potential failures can help you prepare for challenges and increase your likelihood of success. Surfing the urge is an effective technique to manage cravings without giving in to them. Understand the dual role of dopamine in both motivation and temptation, and learn to manage its effects. Implement pre-commitment strategies to reduce the need for in-the-moment willpower in the face of temptations. Leverage your social environment, as willpower can be contagious, both positively and negatively. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to English Journey for more motivational content. Quiz time! Now, let's see how much you remember. Answer these questions in the comments below. Question 1. What are the 3 powers of willpower described in the book? Question 2. Name 2 specific activities mentioned that can help you recharge your willpower supply. Question 3. According to the book, why is it important to forgive yourself after a willpower setback instead of being self-critical? Question 4. Explain what surfing the urge means in the context of resisting cravings. Question 5. How can having a group project with friends or family help improve willpower? Remember, learning is a journey, and every step counts. Thank you for joining me today on English Journey. Keep learning, keep growing, and remember that books are powerful tools to grow your English and your life. See you in the next video.